Hi there and welcome back to Mommy Hates Cooking. Today I'm going to show you how to make this easy Crockpot Breakfast Casserole. You can also make it in your Ninja Foodi 2 using the slow cooker function. So it can be made a variety of ways, and either way is going to work exactly the same method. So get ready to get started with these ingredients. You're going to need 12 large eggs, 1 cup of milk, a bag of shredded hash browns, slightly thawed. These can be 28 to 32 ounces. A pound of ground breakfast sausage, a cup of bell pepper, any color, 3 to 4 green onions sliced, 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese, 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard, and a teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of ground black pepper. Now, if you wanted to, you could also use leftover ham as well. It's going to work the same way. So this is what it's going to look like when it's all done. But for instance, if you have leftover ham from the holidays, this is a great way to use it in a totally different meal the following day. Plus, you can make this overnight. So it's a great overnight breakfast casserole. So the first thing you'll want to do is go ahead and cook that sausage in a medium skillet if you haven't already done so. If you're using leftover ham, it's already cooked, so you can just totally skip this step. So now that we have that done, we need to whisk together the eggs, milk, mustard, salt, and pepper until they're really well combined. So I am doing that here. Actually, my daughter is doing it for me. During this video, she wanted to help, so she's the one that's doing that. So she is getting all of that in here, and then you're going to make it into a really smooth consistency. Almost looks like liquid eggs by the time you're done, like what you would buy at the store. And I am putting in the salt. I usually eyeball the salt and pepper. I've made it enough times that it's pretty easy to eyeball. But if not, you can measure it out in the ingredients that you saw listed. So then I am going to go ahead and grab my crock pot, slow cooker, or the pot of the Ninja Foodi, whichever one you're using. And you're going to add the hash browns to the bottom. So I'm adding the whole bag of hash browns, and then I'm just smoothing those out so it's even. So I've got all of those in there. And if you're using the pot of the Ninja Foodi, you'll use the slow cooker function. So that's how you'll change that. So once you have the hash browns in, you're going to layer it with half the meat, peppers, onion, and 1 cup of cheese, and then you'll repeat the layers. So at this point, if you wanted to, you could use regular white onion. If you don't have green onion, you can add in mushrooms, more peppers, more vegetables, whatever you want to do. You can really get creative here. My husband likes to add mushrooms to it, so sometimes we do that. Sometimes I just use whatever onion I have on hand instead of green onion. You really can mix and match what vegetables you want. But you're going to do them in layers. So you start with the sausage, and then you're going to do the vegetables and the cheese right on top. So I'm finishing up with my sausage, and then I'm going to do the other layer of vegetables. And you will see that here. This is also great if you have fresh, garden fresh vegetables too. So like if you're making this in the summertime and you have a bunch of garden fresh vegetables to use, this is a great way to use those as well. I like to make this if we are going to be going to a breakfast in the morning or if we have company over, because it really makes enough to serve a lot of people. It goes a long way. So it's a great one to have if you have a lot of family over, maybe for the holidays. It's a really good one. Plus, you're going to be hungry all night because you'll smell it cooking if you do it overnight, which is normally how I cook it. So once you've got all that layered, you're just going to go back and pour that egg mixture right on top evenly. I like to just make sure it fully coats it so that it kind of stiffens up the whole casserole overnight. Again, you can do this during the day too. I keep saying overnight, but that's just normally what I do. A lot of times I'll put this on around 10 or 11 at night, and then in the morning we have breakfast. So I'm putting my lid on there, and then you're going to go ahead and either cook it on low for 7 to 8 hours. I typically do 8 hours, but you can cook it in 7, or on high for 3 to 4 hours, and then you'll carefully remove and serve. Now remember, if you're using the Ninja Foodi, you would use the slow cooker function. If you're using the lid that comes with it, you would leave it on vent. They also have a glass lid that you can buy separately, and you can always use that as well. So this is what the casserole will look like when you open it up in the morning. It will be perfect to eat as is, or you can add salsa or any type of topping that you prefer for breakfast on your casserole. And as you can see here, it really does feed quite a bit. You could easily feed 12 people, I feel like, with this. The traditional way is 8 servings, but I really feel like you could easily feed 12, especially if you're doing this as kind of like a potluck breakfast. So this is how you're going to make Crockpot Breakfast Casserole. And you can also do it, as I've said, in the slow cooker, the Ninja Foodi, either way. You can find this full recipe over on mommyhatescooking.com. Be sure to like and subscribe so that you don't miss the next video. Thanks so much for tuning in today.